everybody, so it's time for another pregnancy update. This is for weeks 5 and 6. I don't know with how much regularity I am going to be doing these pregnancy updates, because honestly I don't know if the sign, like when the signs or symptoms or how much is changing. So I'm just going to try to be updating you guys when I feel like there's something to update you on. So this is weeks 5 through 6, which for in my real life was February 16th to February 29, 2020. Yes, so this time, guys, the tiredness set in for real during this time period. For real. Our trip up to Washington, we took a road trip up to Washington. The first drive, the drive there was like in the 0 to 4 weeks, but when we were driving back, it was in the 5 to 6 weeks. And it seems crazy because like on the way back, I could not stay awake on the drive back from Washington to California. Oh my gosh, I took so many naps. The naps were like really short, but man, I took a lot of naps. Like I slept so much during that time. And before, like I was able to I didn't really have to take naps, but absolutely not. Like during this 5 to 6 week period, like I could not keep my eyes open. And like I love sleeping in the car, like on road trips. Thankfully, Eric is very good at like entertaining himself. But ever since, honestly, my parents, when I was a baby, if I was having trouble sleeping, they would just take a drive with me and I would be out, you know? And so anyway, my whole entire life, I could fall asleep, no problem in the car. And so the tiredness really started, and then it continued where essentially I would have to take naps every single day during these 2 week periods. Another thing is that my soreness in like my breast area ramped up also during this time. So thankfully my sister-in-law who we visited during the like 4 or 5 week period, we went to the mall, and then there was Motherhood Maternity store that was having a closeout sale, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm going in there and we're going to go shopping for you. And I was like, it was like, at first it was weird for me because it's like, I was like, hey, I just lost 78 pounds. Like you know, because if you don't know, I've spent this past year really working on my weight loss, and I lost 78 pounds in a year. And it's like, and I'm like 4 or 5 weeks pregnant. Like I don't need maternity stuff yet. But she was like, Amy, we're going to go get you some things because maternity clothes like are stupidly expensive. She's like, I don't even understand why they're so expensive, and this is a great deal and you're going to really appreciate it later. So she forced me to get some stuff, and man, I'm so grateful. She totally knew what she was talking about. Plus it was a lot of fun because they had this like fake belly you could try on, and then I was like, okay, I feel pregnant, even though like it was a fake belly that I could try on these clothes. But oh my gosh, it was so much fun. If you are pregnant and you're not like showing yet, and if you live like in a maternity with a paternity store, well, maybe not with a coronavirus thing going on, but please try it on, because it just like, man, the joy of like seeing what's going to happen and just be like, oh my gosh, this is a pillow. What's going to be with my baby? Like it's almost making me get teary-eyed just getting so excited for her. So please try it. So she definitely blessed us with a bunch of different things, and the sale was insane. And some of the things she got for me were like nursing bras that were very comfortable, like no wires. Just, you know what it almost felt like? It felt like a not super supportive sports bra, but that had the like 3 bands, so you didn't have to put it on. And so so she got me 3 of those. And at that time, like I was really struggling because I don't normally sleep with a bra on. Do people do that? I don't know. But like, man, I was getting so uncomfortable, especially because I've been starting to have to like go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which I never used to have, so another symptom. And like, oh my gosh, getting up, and it just feels like, you know what, it feels like the boobs are like overfilled growing water balloons that are way too heavy for your body. And just like that's how it feels to me. It's like there's all sorts of like, it's like it feels like it's expanding, and like that's kind of hurting, but then it also has like a hanging hurting soreness thing. It was not pleasant. So I was like, oh my, and I don't like, most of my bras are like wiry bras, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to try to sleep in these bras because it just hurt so much. And that completely has solved my boob soreness issues. I am living in these nursing bras, these super simple nursing bras that she has given to me, and they have saved my life, because I was like walking around like holding myself, you know, because it was just like, it was just so uncomfortable. So that was like really, really intense, and it was like constant, you know. But honestly, it all went away. Like, as long as like I was being supported in a bra, everything was fine, which was great. It was just when it wasn't, oh, like taking a shower, I was like, oh, I did not like taking a shower because like I couldn't wear a bra obviously in the shower, so that was rough. So in my 0 to 4 weeks, I was like really hungry. Like I told you guys, in the 5 to 6 weeks I was hungry, didn't have any cravings necessarily, but I was definitely starting to get less. Like I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was a teenage boy, you know, having to eat at all times. So the hunger was starting to get less intense. But oh my gosh, the food aversion, I had food aversion, which I was so surprised about, because I did not, first of all, food aversion isn't something that I necessarily like heard a lot about. Like definitely you hear about like morning sickness, and then also like food cravings and like weird, like I'm thinking of the I Love Lucy episode where it's like she wanted pickles and ice cream. That's what you hear about. But I feel like I don't really hear so much about food aversions. Yeah, so food aversion just was not something that I just had on my radar. And especially because like I come from a person that like really struggled with her weight and like overeating and things like that, that I just assumed that food aversion would not be something I would have to deal with. Like I definitely was expecting some morning sickness, and then for sure food cravings and just wanting to overeat. But starting this 5 to 6 week period, still did not really deal with like morning sickness, and I just did not want to eat. I had such intense food aversions, which really was really frustrating and hard for me, because I have been working so hard at trying to build healthy recipes that I really like and that I could incorporate into my everyday diet, that was like good for me, because I wanted to be able to nourish not only me but my baby. But my body was rejecting things that I loved, like healthy things that I've been loving for this past year, that I've been working so hard to teach myself how to cook better, to teach myself how to cook healthy. And it was crazy. So I have this favorite Brussels sprouts recipe that's like easy to do for Weight Watchers, and I used to like not like Brussels sprouts at all, but I have this roasted Brussels sprout recipe that I love, and I love it. Like sometimes I would be eating this Brussels sprout recipe for like lunch and dinner. Like, love it. So when we got home from our Washington road trip, I was like, yeah, I'm going to eat some Brussels sprouts, and like I was excited to eat it. And so like, and it didn't smell gross, nothing, but like as soon as I started to eat it, I was like, I couldn't do it. Like it was just like, bleh. Like not like throw up, but like there was no way it was getting down. I was like, that's weird. It was just weird. I don't know. And it was just weird. And then the same thing happened with any kind of chicken, So we start like, so I made all these different chicken things that I love, like my favorite homemade dishes that I loved. And I could not get chicken down, And so then I was like, what the heck is going on? So then like my husband Eric was like, okay, let's just try to get like, let's go to Trader Joe's, because they have this like chicken strip, these breaded chicken strips that I loved like before I started Weight Watchers. So he's like, let's just get that to try to get like some protein or some things in. And I was like, okay, yeah, like I love these chicken strips, like how can I not? I could not eat chicken strips, like any chicken, any protein. It was crazy. Like I was, man, this was emotionally hard for me, because I worked so hard to make a healthy lifestyle that I thought it would be sustainable, and I just couldn't. I started, basically what I lived off of, or what I've been living off of, was like toast, macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese sandwiches. That, and that's like, that's not healthy. And it's like Kraft, the blue Kraft mac and cheese box. And man, it was so hard, because I felt like I was like, oh, it was really hard, because it felt like the first chance I had, I immediately went and slipped back into my old unhealthy habits. And it was really hard, because like one of my main motivations that I had for like wanting to lose this weight, wanting to just wanting to change my life and to better my life, was so that I could be a better mom. So I could not only have energy myself by treating my body well, but I could also feed my family well, to be able to do, I don't know, just to lead by example. And I was like, oh my gosh, what, like, it's like all this year of hard work. I was getting really frustrated, and I was having an emotional time. But thankfully, during this time, I also had my first OB appointment. I'm going to make a separate video about this OB appointment, but one of the things she said was basically like, the first trimester, just get through it. Make sure you're eating calories. Do not worry about it. She was just so kind, and my doctor was so kind, so reassuring. Just basically was like eat what you can. You're like, basically take the vitamins. I was able to take the vitamins. She just like took away a lot of my like guilt, a lot of my frustration, and was very kind to me. So I will be forever grateful to that, because to be honest, I felt like I was failing as a mom before, like when my baby was 5 to 6 weeks old. And it was really hard for that, because I was like, I'm not feeding my baby, like I'm not giving my baby all the healthy things I want to. But my doctor just was like, she was like, first trimester, just survive it, you know, like do the best you can, survive it, don't put any unnecessary stress on yourself. So also it was so another thing which kind of went on for like, to go for emotional things that was happening, for the first time in my entire life, my motivation specifically for work was low. And I almost didn't feel like myself emotionally, because I'm a very driven person. I'm very goal oriented. I basically, for the most part, I wake up and I work until I fall asleep, and my breaks throughout the day are either filming YouTube videos or cooking, trying to cook healthy things. And I work 7 days a week. I work all the time, and it's like, my work and my job is my passion. I absolutely love it, because I have a handmade business, and it, like, our livelihood depends on it, you know. And my motivation was so low. All I wanted to do was to read baby books. Yeah, and that was really weird. Anyways, so that was it. There was another emotional thing that happened. This was a very emotional week for me. So I am at a higher risk for gestational diabetes. Once again, I think I'm going to talk about this more in a later video. So I'm at a higher risk. And for gestational diabetes, there are 2 tests that you take. Like you take a 1-hour test and then you take a 3-hour test to find out if you have it. So you take the 3-hour test if you don't pass the 1-hour test for blood sugar levels. And diabetes is very, very hard emotionally for me because my dad has diabetes and he has a lot of complications from it. And it is just one of the main motivations that I had for wanting to lose weight is because I did not want to end up, well, lose weight and change my lifestyles. I did not want to have diabetes even though it runs in my family. And so for some reason, it felt, even though I know it necessarily wasn't my fault, I just felt like a failure again because I took the 1-hour test and I did not pass the 1-hour glucose blood sugar level diabetes test. And during this time, I just felt like part of the joy, like I let that test take away for about a day the joy of my pregnancy. And I was really, and man, I was so sad. I was so sad because not only because I was so stressed out because I didn't know what I was going to be able to eat, because like all the food I was eating at the time are like not diabetic friendly food, and all the food that's good to eat for diabetes, I was like, I just can't. So man, I was so stressed out. I was so upset. I didn't know what I was going to do. All these different things. So it was really, really hard. But it only lasted for a day, the time. And then I just, my husband and I, we really prayed, and I just had, like, basically I had an attitude adjustment, you know, being like trying to be like, this pregnancy, this baby is a gift, and this pregnancy is a gift, and I need to treat it as such, even if it's more difficult than I thought it was going to be, or had complications or whatever, and that it is a gift. And my husband and I believe in God, and we just don't believe that he will give us anything we can't handle. So it's like, I will be able to handle this. We will be able to get through this. Just might be harder than we thought. Spoiler alert, at least as of this point, do not have it. Once again, I'll tell you more about it in a different video. One thing is that during these couple of weeks, I was walking very, very consistently with either, honestly, a lot with my mom. I'd be walking about 45 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week, if not more. And just trying to, like, I was like, okay, I can't do the food thing, but maybe I could still get some exercise in to try to be healthy. And then I was still really, really sensitive to smell. That was still really rough. But yeah, that was basically my 5 to 6 weeks. It was a little bit of a challenge it was starting to get a little rough, but still, once again, didn't really deal with morning sickness, and everything, like, it wasn't, everything that I was dealing with was something I could handle, which was great. And we are still just so excited to meet Lil G. So excited. So excited to be pregnant. And it was just great because, like, everybody is just surrounding us with so much love and support and excitement as well. So that is that. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up before you leave, that would be awesome. Please subscribe if you are new, and thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.